Scouter Stan. Today we're talking about brotherhood. OA brotherhood. I'm wearing my sash because we are talking about the Order of the Arrow. Order of the Arrow, I want you, now that you've gone through your ordeal and your brotherhood and all that stuff, I want you to get involved. I want you to start doing things with the Order of the Arrow. Now, I live in Central Florida. I say it all the time. I'm with the Tipasaw Lodge. And the Tipasaw Lodge is the classic lodge, started back a long time ago, old, and it's steeped in traditions and all those wonderful things. But their schedule is a little bit different because we live in the South. And because of that, the ordeal schedule and all of that is a little bit different. Now, we don't live just in the South. We live in the deep South. Florida is south of the southern states of America. So it is the deep South. So we're dealing with tropics. And we do our ordeal during the winter because that's when we camp. Camping is wonderful in Florida during the winter. It's fantastic. Talking no bugs, no humidity, it's nice and cool. It is a dream. The schedule is a little bit different, but keep that in mind no matter where you are. If you're in California or you're up in upstate New York, you're in Chicagoland, there's a lot of different lodges all over the United States, and you're a member of one. There's inductions. Now, inductions, like I said, will be different for different areas. Some will do their inductions at summer camp or at a fall or a spring camporee. So that's usually when they'll do their inductions weekend. That's the ordeal. And as you know, being a brother, as you know, you only do your ordeal once, and it's your ordeal. Okay? So never have to do it again. So once that's done, it's done. Spring conclaves. These are very common. We do them in Florida. Every spring, the schedule will vary depending on the schedule at camp. Camp really decides that schedule, what weekends are available. Some weekends get taken up with other major events. Spring conclave is a huge thing, and that's where you just go have fun. Usually compete with the scouts. Will do older stuff. They'll go and do different competitions, you name it. There's usually a syncathon or something. It's just fun. They have a lot of fun. They open up the pool and everybody goes for a swim. That's stuff that they do. Now, as the year goes on, they get into service weekend. Now, service weekend, I like to call it Funapalooza because you get to go out and you get to use those really fancy loppers and clean up the trails and help the camp get ready for summer. Going out there, putting up tents, getting the camp together so that it can actually do a summer camp. Then after that, you have Fall Fellowship. Now, Fall Fellowship is a lot of fun, and in some places, especially up north, that's also a service weekend. They will have service groups go out and take down the tents or work on the barn where they store the tents at the camp. That's stuff that they do. Then you have Section Conference. Section Conference is really super cool because every part of the nation, all over America, they have a bunch of lodges they call a section, and it's a group. In the South, the S4, which is the southern group, we have people from Georgia and Mississippi and all the lodges of Florida, that all gets together. They all go to a camp somewhere in that region, and they get together and they do what they did in fall and spring at the conclaves and the fellowship. That's what they do. They have a great old time. That's something that you need to be involved in. As an adult leader, you need to promote this with your youth, and you need to go too. You're not exempt from it. And then the big one, and this happens only every 4 years, it's called NOAC. Now, sometimes I know that they had to speed it up for different events. They wanted to make sure in 2010 that they had one. And then they had one in 2012. So there was reasons for that. So usually it's every 4 years. But depending on the schedule for scouting and the anniversaries and stuff, they will move that around. So every 4 year-ish, they will have a thing called NOAC. That's National Order of the Arrow Conference. 2 times that I went, it was in Michigan State. In Michigan, in Lansing, near Lansing, Michigan. And it was a wonderful time. We had a great time. Now this is national. This is like a jamboree, okay? It is really big. Every lodge is represented. That's what makes it really special. So as a Brotherhood member of the Order of the Arrow, please get involved in that. Try to promote that. The more people you get going to this, the more commitment you have in the scouting genre, okay, to use a word. You want to make sure that you're helping your scouts succeed by promoting the OA. Now, troops, there are positions within the troop where the assistant scoutmaster can actually focus on being the advisor for the troop representative, the OA representative for the troop. And those two, the adult and the youth, go to usually a round table or to the Order of the Arrows chapter meeting. And they get all of that information and try to convey that information back to the troop. This is a great way for us adult leaders to stay involved with the OA and to promote and help a youth do that particular job. Look into that. That is one of those really neat jobs. Find a place to help out. In a lodge, you have chapters. You are a member of a chapter. That chapter has many different jobs that need to be done. Ceremonies team. That is an excellent place to help out. Youth can get into it and do the regalia. They do the ceremonies, the actual pre-ordeal and all the other types of ceremonies that go on within the OA. And then you also have an advisor position, which is an adult position. So as an adult, you can definitely help out as far as being an advisor. Drum team. My chapter has a drum, it's a huge drum. I mean, it's a gigantic drum, and a drum team can really give you a lot of spirit as far as different events, and especially they can work with the ceremonies team. Those are huge things. Now, one other job that's actually part of the chapter is the spirit team. Now, the spirit team works on all of the patch designs. They work all of the really neat things that they need for different events, like the fellowships and the conclaves and the different events that go on within a lodge and a chapter. So the spirit items are huge. And also you have an elections team. The inductions team or the elections team is some group of scouts as a brother. The brothers get together and those scouts go out to the different units and do the actual elections so that they can induct people into the order. That's a big position. Leadership team. Now this is huge. Leadership team can be a lot of different things. Every chapter has a chapter chief, and that chapter chief has an assistant chapter chief. And then there's different things within that group. You could have a historian that does a lot of the spirit box or the different King's Cup, I think, is another type of thing that historians do. So there's a lot of different things going on within your local chapter. So look into it. As an adult leader, they need advisors for every one of these positions. All adult leaders are considered advisors to some capacity within the chapter. Definitely get involved. Start doing the neat things in the Order of the Arrow. My adult brothers, please get involved in some level within your chapter or even lodge and start putting forward that good example that we need. The youth, we need them to achieve the highest rank they possibly can and get involved in their troop, get involved in their crew. That is the first priority. OA is nice. It's fun. It is a great way to keep the older scouts enthused and involved. That's a great treat, but it is not the only thing. They need to be more involved with their unit. So keep that in mind. My fellow brothers, thank you so much for listening today. Getting involved in the OA is one of those things that I absolutely love. I think it's a wonderful thing. It keeps older youth involved in achieving. That is big, and it keeps our adult leaders involved, and they can set the example. You can set that example. I really appreciate all that you do for scouting, and I will see you on the trail.